Hey guys, so I'm doing this video to address the debate regarding Windsong and Lucy, and I'm also comparing their damage with other characters that we already have. And yep, so basically what I did here was I have this damage calculator that I created it myself, but basically it's based on the formula that everyone has already posted regarding the damage formula for Reverse 999. So here I'm assuming that the enemy is like endgame boss, so they have like high defenses and some defense reduction, damage reduction, critical defense, and things like that. Then I add in the stats. All right, the crit damage, crit. So I'm just changing number here, so don't mind that. Damage bonus, penetration rate, damage boost, incantation might, and the percentage of attack, which means the relative or mental attack, and then I calculate what is the damage by that specific attack. So based on that, basically I go through the rotation and then I calculated how much is the damage over 15 rounds. I'm doing 15 rounds because to get a better average, like Limbo is 30 rounds, and then we have sorry, not Limbo, Raid is 30 rounds, and then Limbo is 12, so I'm kind of like getting somewhere in the middle. And sometimes if we play in Utu is definitely different, right? We cannot compare Utu because there's all the fame cards and it will affect the overall damage output by a certain unit. And then there's also roguelike, which we will get it again in the next version. And in roguelike, depending on the artifacts that we get, the damage calculation is obviously different as well. So I'm kind of like taking the Limbo and Raid and kind of like put it in between. So I'm calculating about 15 rounds. So first of all, by all, the calculation here is what I assume. I may have missed certain things because there's so many numbers that I have to go through. And the thing with Windsong and character like Lucy is that their stats changes as the stage progress, so which is really difficult for me to grasp what is the right number to be. Like Windsong, it has that measure buff where every time she crits or other player crits, and then when she casts inflict confusion on the enemy, she gets 3% crit rate and 3% crit damage and things like that. So I kind of like just assume that it is maximum, so which means that my Windsong calculation can be a little bit higher than it should be. But anyway, let me go through one character by one character, then I will show you the overall comparison, right? So first of all, let's talk about Spathodea. Why I'm using Spathodea as an example here, the reason is because I felt it has a certain similarity with Windsong because you get the precast, so moving around incantation, getting Moxie, and then triggering attacks, right? So for Windsong, for example, I would usually start with a punch, whatever her incantation call, let's just call it a punch, and then she buffs, right? The next turn she gets a free punch, and assuming that maybe I reset my incantation so I can have another punch and another buff, right? And then now I combine. Okay, in that case, I combine and I attack, right? So that would give me 3 Moxie, and the previous round I get a punch and a buff. So that's total of 5 Moxie, and I will get ultimate the next turn. So I do consider that after she buff, this punch will be, it will deal more damage due to the pre-ignition stacks, right? So with that, I'm dealing damage here, and then ultimate plus the buff, and then after that I continue on with getting buff, combining, dealing rank 2 punches, and then ultimate, and then I complete the rotation. Every 3 rounds I will be able to cast my ultimate. So in that case, I calculated that the overall damage out of 15 turns is about 160,000, and we have Spathodea, if divided by 15, she's dealing about 10,000 per round. With Isolde, her damage is definitely higher because her crits will deal more, so about 20% higher than what she's dealing right now, so about 12,000. Then I have I actually have Junyang's here, right? The reason I'm showing this because actually I did a calculation previously on P0 to P5 Ju, and of course my assumption is quite different as in the enemy stats is different, so the value came out different, and I was comparing Spathodea, Junyang at different portrait and how she would compare with them. So when I changes this stat, I did not recalculate it back Junyang's because it's just so difficult to calculate for her. We have to consider her liquor stacks and what is the possibility, or she's dealing 1 hit or 2 hit or 3 hit. I kind of like average it out, but yeah, basically this is the numbers that I get. So after that, I did not recalculate it, so I'm just taking the ratio of what I calculated before, and I get for P0 Junyang is 11,000. Here again, I would like to mention that I'm doing just for P0 because yeah, okay, never mind, I'll talk about that at the end of the video. So anyway, for Windsong, initially I consider her in 1.8 right now, which means she does not have the new tuning yet. So her damage fall pretty low, higher than Spathodea still, higher than Junyang still, but it's lower than Lucy's if we are using the current tuning mechanics. So I proceed on to calculate as if we are already in 1.9, that we are already getting the new tuning, which is really like, I'm not sure why, she's already pretty good, and then they provide her the tuning, which makes her even better. So here we have is I'm using S2 because if once you use S2, it is like Spathodea's buff. You use S2, you get 2 precasts, which is our S1 and S2. And yeah, so you use S2, in the next turn you will still have your S1, and then you will have the precast, right? And then after that, you can use tuning. Okay. You can use tuning, and I'm assuming here with S2 I'm getting 2 precasts, and with the new tuning I get another 2 precasts. So now I have 4 precast incantation. I'm going to shift one of the precasts to combine it, allowing me to get 2 Moxie, and another 2 precasts will just combine by itself, allowing me to get another Moxie. So that's 3 Moxie here. Then the initial S2 that I use in round 1, I will already have 4 Moxie. Then now that the S2 is combined, I will use it, and then I get my 5th Moxie. So I will get her ultimate by round 3. And in that case, I'm using rank 1, and here I'm using rank 2. And I'm assuming that I'm just fighting a single enemy, hence the damage is not the full damage of AoE, but it's a single one. So this is the damage that she dealt. And then after that, once you got ultimate, the thing is, I did check. Honestly, I have not tried this tuning, and I'm not sure exactly what I'm assuming here is correct or not. But I watched some videos that you are using the tuning to eat up some incantation, and then you get more points. The tuning Moxie or something, right, for Vertine. So it kind of like you can use it pretty often, even though it is 40 per use, but you kind of get like 10 back if you are using the one that eats up one of the incantation on the most right. So yeah, so here I'm using tuning, and then I will get another 2 plus 2, so I will have 4 incantation, assuming that I have the original one that I did not use, and the one that I combined and also not used, and now I have 4 more, so I have total of 6 incantation on the screen right now, right, if we are playing. So here I'm assuming that one of it will be rank 2 and the other 5 will be rank 1. So when you calculate, I calculate the damage, so it's like 8,000 for rank 2 and then 27,000 for rank 1. Do note that after she uses her ulti, she inflict confusion on the enemy, she get the Eureka, her Eureka will not go down, which means now all her S1 will deal even more damage. So when you add that all up, it's actually pretty high in damage. Then after that, I repeat the same thing, assuming that now I cannot do tuning that often anymore, so I kind of have like a gap of 2 turns, then tuning again. Then after that, a gap of 1 turn, then tuning. So this is the pattern that I'm going for. So obviously, depending on her tendency, or basically the frequency that she can use her tuning, her damage will actually change. So here, when I calculated everything, I'm getting like 250,000 overall from Windsong out of in 15 turns, and I'm getting about 16,000 damage per turn. So that is actually really high compared to what Junyangzi and Spathodea together with Isolde. I mean, Isolde is just providing the burn buff. I'm not calculating Isolde's damage. So that's an entirely different thing. And also her ultimate and everything. So let's just put that aside. So here's 16,000. Okay, so that makes Windsong currently higher than Junyangzi as well as Spathodea. So what about Lucy? Okay, Lucy is really tricky to calculate. That's because she has this dynamo stacks, and when she gets dynamo stacks, 20 stacks, she can upgrade one of her incantation, right? Either the incantation S1 or S2 or her follow-up attack. Here I write as FUA, FUA, which is follow-up attack. And then after you have upgraded all three, the next upgrade will be automatic, and she upgrades her ultimate. Once you upgrade her ultimate will then provide 1 Moxie upon usage. Do note that her ultimate does not deal any damage at all. It is actually a buff. But after she uses her ultimate, she gains a lot of buff. She deals Afflictus Witness to whatever. It doesn't matter what the enemy is, as she will deal Afflictus Witness and plus 10% bonus damage. So that's 40%. And she gets... she does the follow-up. Alright, so that is actually quite a lot of things going on with the kit, which is why I highlighted here white as well as red. So white means it is not upgraded. Okay, not upgraded in the sense that the advanced. Alright, okay. Every 20, when we get 20 dynamo, we can upgrade one of that incantation. But when she has 10 stacks or more dynamo, the dynamo will get consumed by this incantation, and the incantation will deal more damage. It depends. Some deal more damage, some deal damage to an additional enemy. So there is some effects there depending on how much of dynamo stacks that we have and how much we consume. So the red one here indicates that it is the upgraded one due to the dynamo stacks. So it consumes the dynamo and it becomes a stronger incantation. So that is indicated by the red one. And here I specifically mentioned by round 3, she should be able to upgrade one of her incantations. So once it is upgraded for the entire fight. So here I'm indicating that S2 will be upgraded at the start of round 3, which means by the time I use S2 here, it is already the upgraded version. And then at round 5, I'm upgrading S1, then round 6, upgrade the follow-up attack, and then finally at round 27, upgrade her ultimate. So her dynamo stack, she gains by the number of Moxie that she get. Every Moxie that she get is 2, and every Moxie that the party member get is 1. So here I'm assuming if she's using S2 one time, your party will be using 3 incantation, and that would generate 3 dynamo for her. With the initial dynamo that she has, so she get 10 by the end of round 1. And then when you combine, you get 4 because there's 2 Moxie here. So basically, and when you kill the enemy, you get 10. So overall here indicates, this part here indicates how much is the dynamo that she gets. But I calculated that once she upgraded everything, it doesn't matter that much anymore, because once it is upgraded, the skill does not consume 10 dynamo, it consumes just 5. So you will have more than enough dynamo to move on and upgrade every single incantation that you have. Sorry. Okay. Alright, so here I have her doing S2, and then I combine her S1, then she do S1, and assuming that she would kill an enemy, she would does her follow-up attack. How am I supposed to get this? This is so annoying. Okay, so here as follow-up attack, after she kills an enemy, she will do a follow-up attack. And the more enemy that she kills, she will do follow-up attack. So here I'm just assuming 1. And after every 2 turns, she will be killing 1 enemy. So actually, she will deal more than that. Okay, in most of the fight that I see. What am I supposed to do here? Okay, in most of the fight that I see, she will have enough. She will basically do more follow-up attack than she should. So anyway, I calculated her attacks. I did it as no afflictus and afflictus. I just want to compare with Windsong, so I did the no afflictus version. But of course, in every fight, she will be doing afflictus bonus after she uses her ulti for 2 rounds, because at P0, that buff only lasts for 2 rounds. So here, you see that the damage here is actually the same, but it gets upgrade after a certain rounds. Yeah, so I did consider that her buff is only for 2 turns. So no afflictus and afflictus. So her damage here is 14,800, which is lower than Windsong. But if we consider that she has afflictus, she actually deals 19,000. That is higher than Windsong. But obviously, if we are using Windsong in a fight that is against a mineral enemy, Windsong will definitely out damage Lucy, right? Assuming that both of them have afflictus advantage. But nevertheless, is that how often does we have a fight that is all, featuring mineral units? So that will not be that often at all. So overall, I still think Lucy is the better character because she can deal 19,000 like pretty much in every single fight, while Windsong, we can't do that with Windsong, right? Okay, so overall, this is a comparison between the units. So here, Spathodea, I'm taking here as a benchmark 10,000. Spathodea with ESO is increasing by 18%. Chunyangzi is 17.95%. This might not be true because I did not recalculate it. And then here, Windsong is 23%. This is assuming that she's using the old tuning. And then we have Windsong, the new tuning, which is 56.15%. Then Lucy, 39, assuming no afflictus bonus, which not supposed to happen. Then after that, we have Lucy, which is 19,000. And that is the highest so far. All right, so overall, based on this calculation, I hope it gives you an insight on how much damage that they will do. I'm not saying that my calculation is absolutely correct, so do take this with a pinch of salt. But if you are referring to this, I just want to mention that, I do think that Windsong is, she can deal a lot of damage, and especially in raids, because one advantage of her in raids is that the enemy gets stronger every time they die and they renew. And if you stack up Windsong's card, there's a lot of videos showing that. It's like you have over 10 of Windsong incantation. Then when the enemy is at lower tier, like they did not die so many times in the endless mode yet, so they have very little defense reduction and damage reduction. So if you blast off every of Windsong incantation, she will be able to kill the enemy so many times without them getting to buff themselves up. So she will deal very huge damage to the point that she can go millions and millions of damage, 3 million, 4 million, and then when you add Kakanya in, it just go to 11 million. The thing is, ask yourself, is that necessary or not? Right? Is that necessary or not? So if we are looking in the perspective of a normal fight, right, where there is more enemies on the field, and then you are killing more enemies and things like that, definitely Lucy will probably outperform her. Right? Here I'm just assuming that the enemy die every 2 turns, but possibly you will be killing more enemy than one enemy every 2 turns. So in that case, this number here will probably be higher. So realistically, just beware when you are looking at tier lists and some of the comments or recommendation by units, by content creator. One thing is that I'm not sure, at least for the tier list, I heard that Preden, what they did was they are comparing P5. So they bring P5 Windsong and P5 Lucy into a raid, and then they get the max damage. The thing is, I don't think it's a wise idea to even compare P5, because P5 is definitely overtuned, and there's just no reason, like nobody is actually going to yeah, at least not me. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to spend so much to get P5 Windsong and P5 Lucy. So for a more casual player like us, I think it's more relevant if we compare them P0 and see how they function overall. Alright, so okay, so anyway, I hope that this video will be beneficial for you all in deciding who you want to pull. And personally, like I mentioned in my pool plan video, I might try maybe 30 pools for Windsong. If I get her, I get her. If I don't get her, I will just save up, because I would want Kakania more for Joe later on. And Lucy definitely is the character that I must have, so my eye is on Lucy. Anyway, no hates for Windsong, but if you are a Windsong, if you like her playstyle by combining incantation and then switching things up, feel free for Windsong. Alright, so have a good day and thank you for watching.